they are overwhelmed by the sheer volume of new digital tools, bogged down by manual processes, and struggling with scattered data. This lack of readiness creates significant roadblocks. Without a robust foundation and clear strategy, digital initiatives often stall before they even begin to deliver value. What promises to be a revolutionary leap, AI, often becomes mere hype, failing to translate into tangible business results. This is where Matrix Connexion steps in. At Matrix Connexion, we are more than just a vendor. We are your dedicated business partner for the digital and AI era. We provide the unparalleled expertise, cutting-edge tools, and proven frameworks necessary to prepare your organization for successful transformation. From seamless cloud migration and infrastructure modernization to strategic AI execution and comprehensive workforce upskilling, we are committed to helping you succeed at every step. Our credentials speak for themselves. Google Cloud Partner of the Year 2024 and recognized experts in AI, data, productivity and collaboration technology and cloud technologies since 2008. Imagine the transformation within your organization. With Matrix Connexion, technology ceases to be a challenge and instead becomes your most significant competitive advantage. We empower your people with the skills they need, streamline and transform your processes for efficiency, and ultimately help you lead your industry with unwavering confidence. The future waits for no one. It belongs to those businesses who are not just ready, but eager to embrace the digital and AI revolution. Are you among them? Partner with Matrix Connexion, your essential partner in digital and AI readiness. Begin your journey with us today. Reach out to us now.
Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm sorry, lost connection at a very critical moment. My name is Dalila from Matrix and we are so happy to have all of you with us this morning. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us. And over the next hour, we are going to explore our CEO's playbook for collaborative intelligence, and we will discuss on how AI is evolving from a simple tool into a strategic partner for leaders, helping them to align teams faster, shorten decision cycles, and turn discussions into action. And now, before we begin, we would love you to join us on our growing community at growwithmatrixc.com, as you can see on the screen. And by becoming a member, you will gain access to free ebooks, exclusive resources, and priority invitations to our future webinars and events. So you can simply scan the QR code displayed on the screen or visit growwithmatrixc.com to sign up. Or if you can open the chat box on the bottom right of your screen now, in the Google Meet chat box, my colleague Aisha shared the Grow with Matrix C link, so you can simply click from there as well. So I will maybe spare the next 1 minute for you to complete the registration with growwithmatrixc.com. And while you are doing that, I have a quick housekeeping note. In case you have any questions during the session, please type them in the chat box as well, and we will address them during the Q&A session at the end of our CEO's presentation later. And for your information, the webinar recording, this webinar recording and also notes will be available in growwithmatrixc.com website. So that is why it is important for you to register with us. All right. So today's session is a perfect example of how we at Matrix C help businesses transform. And for those of you who are new to us, our mission is to help you boost your business through our core pillars. And these range from enhancing productivity and collaboration and modernizing your infrastructure on the cloud to harnessing the power of data and AI and ensuring your teams are ready for these changes through our Matrix C Academy and change management programs. And to learn more about Matrix C and our services and offerings, you can scan the QR code on the screen to reach out to us, or simply save our marketing number displayed here, which is also displayed on the screen for you to be in touch with us later. All right. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker, the CEO and founder of Matrix C, Mr. Sean. Sean is a firm believer that the real transformation with AI happens when you move beyond using it as a digital assistant and integrate it as a collaborative partner. And as a part of the team here at Matrix C, I can speak to the impact of this approach and how Sean's method of using AI as collaborative partner elevates how decision cycles and brought a new level of clarity that empowers our team to execute with confidence. And in today's session, he is opening that exact playbook, and he will guide us through the practical strategies he used every day to make sharper decisions, synthesize knowledge instantly, and drive consistent results with his team. So whether you are just starting to explore AI for leadership or looking to deepen our strategy, or this session will equip you with a practical framework to achieve more with your teams. So please join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to our CEO, Mr. Sean.
Hello. Thank you, Dalila, for the kind introduction. Good morning, everyone. So can I see just a thumbs up or, from everyone, just to get everyone to participate? Thank you so much, everyone. So, okay, next slide, please. Okay, so how many of you here are no stranger to ChatGPT and Gemini? You're no stranger, so which means that you've used it a lot enough. And so with that, I just want you to just do a thumbs up for those of you who have used it and you're familiar with it. Okay, so can I just have now a thumbs down for those who have never been exposed to ChatGPT or Gemini? Thumbs down. So no one? Okay, so the reason is because then I know everyone's maturity in terms of whether this is new to you or not. Okay, come. So I think this is the same problem that I actually encountered when I started using a lot of these tools. So to us, we use it very much like a search engine. And the problem with that is that then we normally would ask questions to an AI, such as Gemini or ChatGPT. And when you do that, it's no different from how we have all been using Google.com, where used to be we were doing keyword search, but then over time we have also put in questions. In fact, we would also put in questions into YouTube, and usually it's just a one-liner like, give me the best 10 marketing strategies, and you would actually type that into YouTube or even on your Google search, and then you would try to browse through the most relevant. And with Google now, they also have this AI summarization. So Gemini itself is also built into the browser itself. So the problem with that is you're not really harnessing the AI's capability to do that, because we've all moved away from search engines. So today's session is really to then help you move beyond that, right? So the problem with doing that on these LLMs, or we call it the ChatGPT alike or Gemini, is that when you do this kind of very generic question search, or just type a one-liner, tell me more, or give me like 30 days content for my blog or something like that, it's very generic and you get very inconsistent results. Some days you get good results, some days you get bad results, right? So next slide. So that's the main problem. So, and if I were to describe why a lot of people who use Gemini or ChatGPT or anything like that equivalent, and why they actually fail at getting business advice through them, click, is generic prompts will give you generic answers, right? So if you pay a consultant, the consultant will come in and give you some kind of framework to work on whatever decisions that you want to make. So you would expect, or you should expect, and you would want your AI that you're consulting with to actually have a framework to also be able to answer the questions that you have. So asking generic prompts, do not give you, the kind of quality answer that you expect if you don't actually use frameworks. So what I'm going to give you today is exactly frameworks. Yeah, next slide. Next prompt. So random questions leads to unpredictable quality, and then treating AI like Google is just really, you're not discovering deep levels. What you should do is essentially you should have a very systematic framework for interacting with your AI. So to me, I feel that this is the key point. If you don't learn anything today, please take this with you, as you go through, and remember this point. AI is a tool that keeps evolving and it keeps getting better from time to time. Your single most important skill that you should be learning is learn how to prompt. So today's session is really about that, because that's something that you can carry across tools. Doesn't matter whether you're using Claude, Perplexity, Qwen, Grok, all the LLMs out there. The key skill that you need to have is knowing how to talk to AI, and that's through prompting, right? Effective prompts gives you good results. Next slide. So my analogy for this, so that the concept really sticks, right, is if you open up your phone and you go through Google Map, most of us do that on maybe weekends or even weekdays when we want to look for food. So a vague search, or like to tell you like an analogy of how we are most using Gemini or ChatGPT, we would be typing, click. We would be typing something like the asking AI, say, best food in KL. So that's the key problem. Hello, sorry. Yeah, I had to walk away for a while. So the problem with that is really, asking AI just this question, like best food in KL. So what's wrong with this, right? This is not specific at all. So can you click? So if you do that, click again, you will get an unpredictable result, right? And depending on where you are when you click this, because it will find where you are in location, or maybe, you know, if you put KL, then it would actually zoom down in KL, but you get a whole list of possibilities. And it's not something that you can take action on. And this really wastes your time and energy and focus to actually scroll through the list. So imagine if you were using Gemini or ChatGPT in this way. So it really wastes your time while your competitors are using it in a good way, and you're really kind of like wasting your time, you know, scrolling through all the possibilities, reading reviews and all that. At the same time, not being specific, then you're really losing out. So what's missing here? So the obvious one is, yeah, food type, your budget, your urgency, and your location, your direction, and whether it's still open or whether the store is still, you know, in business or not, right? So I'm sure everyone here uses Google Map a lot, and this is something that you would know. This is not something you would do. Yeah, you would do it, but you know you're not going to get good results. I have friends who are really good at doing this, and somehow they just always get better results than I do when I ask them, you know, suggest and give me introduce me a place and a cafe that is near us, right, within good traffic flow area, things like that. So let's move on to the next slide. So how should you really interact? So again, the Google Map analogy is that you should actually have very precise instruction. So the solution really is like giving AI a very precise restaurant or coordinate. In this case, let's say you can say, you know, type in Nasi Lemak Burung Hantu, and that's really like your primary goal. So I'm giving you a construct and a framework of a good prompt. So you should always have a primary goal within your prompt, and then your starting point, right, which is your context, where you are right now. And then you should also state like whether you're in a vehicle or whether you're going to take a walk. So I'm just like writing here, walking as a CEO who values efficiency, and that's called persona, right? And this is a very important concept. So the key here is that you would want the AI to assume a certain persona when it actually, some people call it role. I would prefer using the word persona because it really describes it better. So then the next is the route command. So give me the most direct walking route, turn by turn. So your prompt should also have a directive and the output structure that you want it to actually provide you. And then also you may have special instructions like avoid tolls. In a prompt speak, we will say guardrails. Guardrails really means like things not to do. So this would be a construct of a very good prompt, right, where it consists of all these elements. Next slide. So through this webinar, I would want to provide you kind of like a template that you should follow, and to make sure that you don't forget this. Of course, there are more templates available, but because today is a lot about strategic thinking and also for business advice, so I would actually recommend this template where you have primary goal, which is the specific outcome you want, the context, where you are right now, and whatever business situation or decision that you need to make. And you need AI to help you think through, and then the persona, who you are, and what you want your AI to assume, the role or the expertise or the domain depth that it has in order to give you the advice that you want. So that would give the AI the role or the persona in which they would assume in order to give you the advice. Like in this case, we want to use the role of, or the persona of, a strategic advisor to you as a business leader or department head and so on. So then you will also describe the directive and the output structure. So that's really the task and the format in which that you want the AI to produce its answer to you. and then the guardrails, what not to do. So a lot of times we get results, and sometimes the results that we get, we'll say like, okay, no, this is not what I'm looking for. It should not have this. It should not consider this. So if you already know that, then why don't you just put it up front as you are talking to the person to say that, okay, I want you to go ahead and do this, but I want you to make sure that you don't do this, and that, right? So that's an example. So next. So to put this into action, I think that's where I've always believed that you can never PowerPoint your way through teaching someone how to use AI. The best way is that everyone needs to actually experience it for themselves, because each and every one of you have your own very unique way in which that you want your reply and response. So next slide. So, okay. Aisha will put a link right now to a document where I've already crafted a prompt for you. And if all of you click on the link, you should be here. So I'm going to take control of the presentation now, Aisha. So my screen should show up. Okay. So can everyone see my screen? Can I just have a thumbs up? Everyone follow? Okay, great. Right. So here's what I want you to do. Everyone, please. So in this case, let's just all use Gemini. So I want everyone to open up in a new tab. So you can split your screen into two. One side, you can watch this webinar and look at my explanation and screen. And the other side, you open up your Gemini to actually copy and paste this prompt in. So don't do anything yet. Please hold your horses. Let me explain what is it that I've given you, because it's important that you understand how I constructed this, because this is exactly what you need to understand so that you can take this as a first example and then go on to do your own future prompts in future, right? So let me explain to you. So as I mentioned, this exercise is to actually help you build a AI strategic partner, right? To help you through a business decision. I didn't want to take the route of doing certain things where everyone have to sit down and think about the kind of decisions that they have, the kind of persona that they want, and so on and so forth. So I've crafted this prompt in a way where, as I read to you, you are a world-class AI strategic partner. Your primary function is to provide ruthless, pragmatic, and data-driven analysis to help business leaders make high-stake decisions. So this is the persona, right? Remember the Google map? This is the persona that I'm actually giving to the AI as I want it to assume this persona to interact with me. So before it begins, I want it to actually extract from you information, right? And this is where, if we go on to the Google Map example again, this is where you will state, okay, what food you like, how are you going to get there, right? So how you're going to get there is already the persona, which is, in this case, the AI strategic partner, the role that it wants to take. And then also, I'm asking it to go through 5 questions, or rather 5 process, but 4 key questions, right? You can see here, this is what I'm telling the AI to do. And then it will ask you, right, the first one, to whom am I speaking to? So this is to actually extract more information from you so that then it will craft a prompt based on being a strategic advisor and then help you with whatever key decisions that you're now making. So before we copy and paste and do this exercise, any questions from anyone? If you have, please feel free to type it in the text or just raise your hand. Otherwise, I assume that we are all ready to go. Okay. If we are all ready to go, then I would want you to copy this and just paste it directly into a prompt. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do as well. So I'm gonna copy this. We'll discuss option 2 later. And then I'm just gonna stop sharing. And I'm gonna share my window, my entire screen. So what you do is you have a screen like this and you just paste the whole thing in. Yeah, just exactly this. And then you hit go. One thing I want everyone to make sure is I always prefer that everyone use 2.5 Pro. If you're on the paid edition or even the free edition, I believe 2.5 Pro is available. So I always recommend using 2.5 Pro and then copy and paste and then hit send, right? The reason why that is that as you become better in doing most of this prompt, please do not ignore the thinking. As a mature user of AI, I would always encourage you to read how the AI actually reasons your request. So a lot of times when I talk to AI, I always want to just look at this to make sure that it understands what I want and is aligned before I start reading the answer. Okay. So most of you would have already copy and pasted. Can I just have a thumbs up for those of you who have copy and pasted? Ashley, Azim, Suhana, Hakim. Okay, great. So you notice that it will actually go through a process 1 out of 5. So can you answer? In some of you, you can put, okay, I'm let's say the CEO, right? It can be as simple as this. You will go through step 2, defining the role. What's your specific high stakes decision? So you say, I need to decide if I am going to expand into a new country for the company, something like this, with an investment of, let's say, RM 1 million. And of course, you should be as specific as possible always and name the country. The country of choice is Thailand, for example, right? Something like this. And of course, if you want to give it more context, we are in a B2B business. And of course, you can give it more. So you go through step 3. What are the 2 key factors and constraints? You would say that, cash flow is tight okay, maybe not cash flow is tight. You can say that my team is small and young, but they are backed by a mature team in Malaysia, let's say. Just giving it and making it more real for each and every one of you. So then you go through the next step. And again, right, it's also interesting to always read what it understands. And then what's your primary goal? What does success look like? Okay, success is being able to generate RM 1 million profit within, let's say, 6 months. something like that. So it actually summarizes. It says that the configuration summary, your persona is this, your decision is this, your key factor is this, your success metric is this. So it will say, is this, is this correct? Then you say, yes, correct. And then it will actually churn out the result for you. So again, good to see how it understands and how it's actually processing the results. And then here it is, bottom line up front. So it actually comes up with its own model, COGS, B2B, your risk assessment, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is my result, right? Again, I always recommend that you really read this and then continue the conversation as you go on with the whole conversation thread, because now it already has the context, and obviously you would have a lot of follow-up questions. So continue with it. So can I get a show of hands if anyone actually got like a fantastic response and it gives you a resonate, or rather it actually resonate with something that you've been thinking about. So I will stop sharing my screen. Okay. So let me go back. Okay. I will go back here. I want everyone to just, Aisha, can you move the slide? So what I've done is actually, we have actually gone through, as in me showing each and every one of you how I would go through that process. And actually, if you look at this configuration, again, we'll dive deeper, and please feel free and take this time to start a new chat if you want to restart the whole conversation again with a whole different context, or continue with the current one to dive deeper into all the advice that it's giving you. If you can take a look, I will show my screen again. If you take a look at the second option, this is another one where it kind of like has a more specific persona, right? And it also has a guardrail. So so as you heard, I also asked it to define what is the strategic rationale, the key unknown, the risk analysis. So all these, again, is an expansion of the first option, but again, with more specific frameworks of thinking and the structure of thinking for the AI to follow. So I'm going to give everyone kind of like a 5 minutes. If you want to try the second prompt, this second option, which tends to be a little bit more detailed in terms of the framework, right? So remember, I always say that AI consultants, or rather any consultant that you go through, whether it's McKinsey, BCG, and so on, they all have internal frameworks where they have research and so on. And they will use those frameworks across the industries that they have worked with. And then they will charge you millions in order to consult you. So your AI is also the most intelligent in a way, right? It has all the world's knowledge. So you should also allow it to use frameworks. So in this case, this is the framework that I've actually asked it to follow in order to give everyone the same answer. So I'm just going to count to like 5 minutes and give everyone some space to copy paste this and also do this in Gemini. And the counter will start now. So Aisha, can you just start the counter? And then just play soft music as everyone. Because what I want everyone to do, and so that everyone gets to learn, whoever is comfortable, because it may be a fictitious scenario, and anything that is here is also not recorded. I mean, as in, we're not here to know. So what I want to do is, if some of you can actually share your output here. So just I'm just gonna reshare again. Okay, Aisha, I'm just gonna reshare my screen again. Okay. For those of you who have at least done, and also for those of you who are still in the process, feel free to ask me any question, because again, I've been using AI a lot, and I don't know where your maturity is, but truly the way you answer the questions that is given by the prompt would really determine how good an outcome that you actually get. But again, don't be feeling like you need to get it right the first time, because now that you understand things like the directive, structure, format, persona, context, you can always refine your context in the subsequent chat if you feel that it has done something or you have captured something wrong or insufficient. So you can always go through that. But because you have me online now, and I come with a lot of experience, spending a lot of time talking to all these LLMs, feel free to use this time to have me coach you on things that you might have questions on in terms of how you should ask. So to do that, just type the word help here if you need in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. If anyone needs help. Okay, so Aisha is saying there's 2 minutes left. So when there's 30 seconds left, Aisha, maybe you can just give me a note here. Hmm. 1 minute left. So I really want everyone to appreciate the exercise that we're doing here, because this is something that you can take with you after this webinar to really expand on, and that's really my hope. And if you take nothing away, please take the prompts away with you and really expand on it, Yeah, thank you. Amazed. So, yeah, I'd like to see what are the one word that everyone get, once you have actually gone through this. Again, your name or your is not recorded here. So, but I just want to have everyone have a sense, like, what is everyone's result? Yeah, so time is up. Inspired. How about the rest? If this was a physical class, then of course I would be calling on names. But yeah, do share with us, even for the benefit of the group, because sometimes some of you may feel that, oh, you're not getting a real answer. Eureka! Oh, wonderful. So I hope you really found some gold nuggets there and something that is worth going for. Yeah, eye-opening, very structured, great. And if you use this a lot, right? The way I would do it is, once it has all this information, I could also sometimes say, okay, now with this information, can you tell me what else am I missing? And so you should really, because the hardest part really is trying to get the context right. But the way I've configured this prompt is that it asks you questions. So a lot of us are very comfortable answering someone who asks us a question. And that's how I crafted this prompt. Because there are many prompts that actually gives you a template, but it actually gives you the square bracket, then it asks you to fill in the square bracket. And then it becomes like a super long prompt because you're trying to fill in the bracket. I think that's where sometimes a lot of friction comes when people have to do that. So they would rather just have the AI ask them question by question and then go on. So helpful. Great. So I'm just looking at time, and I want to make sure that we get to the next exercise. And I hope that the next exercise will be even more inspiring and really be more eye-opening for you as well. So I'm just gonna stop, and Aisha, yeah, go to the next next slide. Okay, so building on the first exercise that we did, I really want to come to this very, very important skill in AI called meta prompting. So what you've got initially is a first template for building a foundation, a very specific persona-driven prompt to help you through a business decision. So if I leave you today, I want to make sure that I leave you today in a way that you can expand this into different areas or different decisions, because not all decisions require a strategic advisor, because sometimes you may require a social media expert, or you may require like a sales acceleration expert or something like that. So the question then becomes, how do you then craft the prompt to fit that need? So, and that's really meta prompting. So next slide. So what is meta prompting, right? So to me, just now what you were doing is you were the chef. I provided the recipe and all of you were doing the cooking. And you followed my instruction, putting in your own ingredients or, essentially, but you were following my recipe. So what I want to enable you right now is so that you now can be a recipe book author. That's kind of like moving up, right? From the chef now, you are gonna be the recipe writer, and then other chefs will kind of like follow your recipe. So a meta prompt is just a prompt that tells the AI to create another more powerful prompt for you. So remember, as I said, the key, most important single skill that you need to learn, and this is something that you can carry across all tools, right? Is this meta prompting. And I would like to take an example here. It is where a lot of companies now, knowing that their employees are using LLMs, so just be careful, right? Don't use all the public models and then put the company data in. So that's not a very good thing to do, or even your most strategic plan. So you don't want it to be put into a public LLM, and eventually that could leak out, right? So a lot of companies say that their users resist using the company's AI, let's say like in this case, Gemini for within Matrix. The reason, of course, naturally is they will say, oh, the answer is not that good. And of course, it's naturally not that good because the problem, not to say the problem, the key reason is because a lot of users have been talking to ChatGPT since it got launched. And so they talk to it so much, and it has all the context of their needs and their situation. So whenever they ask something, it actually goes through all that history, and it has a full context of who you are. And that's why you get very good answers on ChatGPT. And then when the company says, okay, you have to ask this within the company's AI. So, but you've only interacted with this AI like maybe once in the last 2 years or 1 year and so on. So it has no context about you. That's why what I gave you is good, because then it's giving any LLM a fair chance to actually answer your question, rather than to say, oh, but if I go ChatGPT, I ask a one-liner, like give me a marketing plan. It knows what I want, it knows what I need, it knows my problem. Again, obviously, because you've been talking to it so much. But this is also where the danger is, right? Because ChatGPT knows so much about you. So you really want to be careful. So the way to really survive this and be able to thrive is to be able to do this prompting skill better. So next slide. I know I've been rambling, but because I just want to make sure that everyone walks away with value. So can I just get a thumbs up to show that I haven't lost you by just rambling? Okay, good. So thank you so much, everyone. So I hope that yeah, you will get through this in a good way. So now the next one is why build a recipe book? Because then you get consistency. Remember, I was saying that we don't want people. I don't want you to walk away with being a random prompter, right? Sometimes you get good results, sometimes you don't get good results. So I want you to be able to consistently get good results. And that's why I want to teach you this recipe book building. So also then you can scale it. So remember, I was saying that what we've done in exercise 1 is a strategic advisor. But walking away from this after this webinar, you might want to do other personas like operations, sales, marketing, finance, and then stock taking, warehousing expert, and whatever expert that you want. So you can actually build a prompt to actually do that. And mind you, whatever I'm teaching you, right? A lot of people, like in the early days, they call themselves prompt engineers. They would actually be able to charge companies thousands of dollars to actually build a prompt for the company for a specific need. So what I'm teaching you is that skill, actually, right? Where you can actually write prompts, and a lot of these prompts can then be tested, and people would pay money for it. Next slide. Okay, so what I built for you is a prompt architect. So remember just now we built a prompt for a strategic advisor. Now I'm building a prompt for a prompt architect or a prompt engineer. So if you go back to the link that Aisha showed, so you'll be brought to the, let me share my tab. So you recall the same document that I was sharing earlier? You must go down to this action 2 meta prompt. So I've given you a prompt here. Again, let's deconstruct the prompt, right? so that everyone understands what I'm giving you here. And this is important, you must understand. So what I've given you here is a persona. So this prompt assumes the role of a world-class AI prompt architect. Your purpose is to help me create new reusable AI consultant by asking me a series of simple questions. So which means that, again, I've crafted this in a way where it's easy. It will ask you questions. And then what this does is it will create for you the different types of AI consultants that you want. So the first one that we did on the first exercise is a strategic advisor. Maybe after this, you want like a world-class CEO or world-class COO or world-class marketing head or a world-class manufacturing engineer or something like that. So your immediate task is to guide me through, again, a 4-step process to define a new AI specialist that I want to build. Ask me each of these following questions one at a time. Do not ask the next question until I have responded. So after I've answered all 4 questions, you will use my answers to generate a complete ready-to-use configuration wizard, which is, again, right, what I've done. And then it will go through this script. So what specialist role do you want this time? So do you want an operations consultant, marketing strategist, or financial analyst, or maybe a brand voice consultant or something like that? So then it will also say, what's the primary purpose for this? It is to solve what? So you know, for your organization, you know what it wants to solve. What's the core questions? What are 2 to 3 most important questions this specialist should always ask you to get the right context? So you define it as well, right? And what's the desired output? Is it a root cause analysis, a business impact, or actionable recommendation, or a project paper to the board of director or whatever, right? And then this is the part where it's important, and this is the part where you can then take this and use this prompt in any LLM, because LLM understands this kind of signals. So these are called what I call markdown code, right? And code block for easy copy pasting. So sometimes your meta prompt can be very long. So when you use symbols like hashtags and asterisks, you're actually telling the LLM what is most important. So this is the LLM itself, and this going into a little bit of technical, but just make sure that you copy this, right? And this is what I'm giving you. So it will always ensure that you use hashtags and asterisks to actually introduce what is the most important thing within the prompt that it creates, so that the AI or the LLM understands the prompt in its own way, right? Because again, if you use Claude, you'll be subject to how Claude wants to interpret a prompt. If you use ChatGPT, the same. If you use Gemini, it all have their own way. So by using this, making it in Markdown, and also using these instructions, then the LM itself understands it the way that it wants to understand it, okay? So I'm just repeating myself, but yeah, I think this is very important. So take this and again, copy paste into your Gemini, answer the 4 questions and see what you get. Again, I want to just, and whatever you get, let's say I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'm gonna share my entire screen. Start a new chat and paste this. So it will go through and ask me these kind of questions, and then at the end, what you get is, let's say, marketing strategies. Okay. I want to just perhaps anyone having trouble with this, please, do reach out and seek for help. But I'd like to just move on, just in the interest of time, back to Aisha's slide. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, next slide. Okay, if some of you managed to actually do this, can you just give me a one word, again in the spreadsheet, in the separate tab, your reactions? Powerful. Okay, someone answered powerful. So it's in the fourth tab. Yeah, give me your reactions to the prompt. Anyone finished? Super useful. Yeah, great. Interesting. Yeah. I think meta prompting is one of the best that I've come across, and I have so much fun. Well, not fun, but I feel supercharged. Yeah, amazing, precise, great. Yeah, thank you so much. So can I just have a thumbs up, everyone, if you feel that this was really useful? Yeah, great, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll stop sharing. We'll go back to the slide. Aisha, next slide. Before that, okay. Yeah, so I only had time to answer one question because I received this question way before today's webinar. Somebody asked, do you have a simple playbook that non-tech background leaders can utilize today to maximize the value of AI and leverage AI capabilities as much as possible? I hope that in some ways that whatever that we've gone through in part 1 and 2 have actually answered that question. But so let me kind of like go through what actually a playbook would look like in answering this. Next slide. So my playbook is this. It's a 3-step system, right, for non-technical leaders. So I call this the AI command playbook, right? So the key thing today is, I know everyone feels the exhaust and the tiredness and frustration of keeping up with AI tools. They just keep getting better and just keep getting more as well. So my advice to you is just stop, right? Start commanding intelligence and stop chasing tools and features. Next. So these are the 3 steps. The first step is to frame, don't chat, right? What you've learned today and what you walk away today is frameworks, and that AI works best when it actually is given a framework to work with, right? So the Google Map method is something that you've walked away with. So it's, it moves you away from treating AI like a search engine and just for simple chatter. You're giving it very specific instruction. So that's what it means by command AI. Don't just, submit and just chat with AI or ask questions to AI. I mean, you can ask questions, but that's, again, not the best use. The next step 2 is build your first specialist to gain momentum. So whatever that we have gone through today was sort of like the strategic advisor. So don't try to solve all your problems at one go. Solve it one at a time. Find the most things, find the things that actually give you the highest return and value for a current pain that is so painful that you need to solve. Build that first specialist, and then use it to solve in that narrow area and to gain momentum. The next one is sometimes the answers are also your assets. When you come across a very good answer from some of the prompts that you actually provided, then what you should do is you should ask the AI, based on our conversation, create a reusable template, right? So that you can actually ask the AI to give you a template that you can reuse to get a more predictable outcome the next time round. So I think this, to me, is the three best advice that I've personally experienced in using a lot of AI tools. So I hope that answers that question. And the rest of you, I will try to answer the other questions that you have later. But I hope that this is a playbook that everyone can go by. So with that, what's the next slide, Aisha? Okay, so with that, I end. And that's my session. And I hope that everyone benefited from it. Over to you, Aisha. Oh, Dalila.
Okay.
Much.
Thank you so much, Sean, for another insightful session, I would say, and a big thank you to our audiences for amazing engagement today. I see like new faces, also repeat faces here. Appreciate your participation to our webinar. Right, and just shortly want to share with you that if you enjoy this session or Sean's sharing today, we are going to have the third session of our AI Leadership in Action webinar series, which is focusing on the art of meta prompting, the one that Sean shortly shared with us. This one will deep dive into meta prompting on 30th of October at 10 a.m. You can RSVP in our feedback form, from our feedback form. Maybe Aisha can display the feedback form. Right. Aisha already shared the link to the feedback form in the chat box. You can scan the QR code or click from the link directly if you're using your PC. And your feedback is incredibly important to us, especially to Sean as a presenter. It helps us improve and continue to bring you sessions that you will find valuable. And please take just a moment to fill out this feedback form. And on behalf of the entire team at Matrix C and our speaker, Sean Tay, thank you once again for joining us today. And we hope you have a wonderful day ahead.
Yeah, maybe I'll just jump in before everyone leaves. Please do fill up the form, because I really want to know if today's session was really helpful, and if there is anything that you felt could be better or we could spend more time on, then I can actually do it. I think some of you attended our first series, and you can see that from the first one, although the content is really the same, but I've actually reduced the number of prompts and exercises just so that I really want everyone to get value. So if you can give me your feedback about how you actually went through the exercise today and what was good and what's not good, then perhaps in the next upcoming one, I can focus on those. And trust me, there's so much more to learn. Even I myself is learning every day. But yeah, I would love to be able to give you more. So yeah, thank you so much, and please do fill up the form. Thank you.